Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to the Art of Overthinking. In this video, I will be discussing the philosophy of the Moon's Eye Plan from Naruto Shippuden. The Moon's Eye Plan, or Project Tsuki, is an operation to free humanity from suffering by placing mankind under the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Philosophically speaking, the plan is utilitarian in nature. You've probably heard of utilitarianism before. It's the philosophy of the greatest good for the greatest number, or the end justifies the means. The means to achieve the goal of the Moon's Eye Plan sacrifices many lives in the name of the ends, freeing man from an existence of pain. Utilitarianism itself is a logical philosophy that focuses on impartial, broad examination of results and intentions behind decision-making and morality, particularly regarding politics, which can be seen in things such as the father of utilitarianism as we know it, Jeremy Bentham, and his philosophic calculus, which aimed to calculate pleasure from the various parts of human experience in order to mathematically decide which actions would produce the most happiness. The plan has two main actors, Madara Uchiha and Obito Uchiha. There are also others who are either directly or indirectly involved, such as the Akatsuki, and there's also the plot twist involving Kage and Zetsu, but for the sake of discussion, this video will focus on the analysis of the work and ideals of Madara and Obito as to focus specifically on the philosophy of the plan itself. That being said, let's discuss their work and delve into the philosophy of the Moon's Eye Plan. The Moon's Eye Plan can be separated into three main parts. First, gather the Biju via the Jinchuriki. Secondly, revive the Ten Tails. And thirdly, cast the Infinite Tsukuyomi via the Divine Tree. The plan itself is simple in theory, but extremely complex in its execution. The execution of the plan involves a lot of suffering, either caused directly or indirectly by Obito, the Akatsuki, or other actors who work alongside the plan, whether they are aware of it or not. Particularly when speaking of the first step, which involves the literal kidnapping of 9 powerful shinobi and likely having to take on others who try to stop you. Heinous actions like these are defended with the idea that it is all for the greater good. The question then becomes, does the happiness created by the Infinite Tsukuyomi outweigh the suffering that it would take to get there? First, let's be real about it. Obito is both directly and indirectly responsible for a lot of suffering. For example, the event that started the entire show, the Nine Tails attack on Konoha, was a direct action by Obito that resulted in an entire village suffering, such as Iruka, who lost his family, the dominoes falling that would lead to the Uchiha clan massacre, and of course making Naruto's life a lonely living hell. To Obito, none of this matters. All that matters is creating the new world. It's all worth it. Fast forward from the beginning of the series all the way towards the end with the beginning of the Fourth Great Ninja War. Obito explains his plan to the 5 Kage, and when it is rejected by them, as he knew it would be, he declares the Fourth Great Ninja War. This would be an enormous conflict where the entire ninja world would unite against the forces of the Akatsuki and the armies of undead and white Zetsu. Many would die and suffer as a result of this conflict. In spite of the pain and suffering caused, the war results in a completion of the plan. The Infinite Tsukuyomi is cast. In order to better discuss the philosophy of the Moon's Eye Plan, we must first go deeper into dissecting the goal of the plan itself, the Infinite Tsukuyomi, a powerful genjutsu cast on a massive scale that forces mankind into an eternal, illusory state of dreams. While under the Infinite Tsukuyomi, the victim views dreams of their deepest personal desires. For example, Hinata's dream is being in a relationship with Naruto, sitting on a park bench with her head on his shoulder while Neji, alive, spies on them with Hanabi. This speaks of her internal desires and pains. She's in love with Naruto, misses her departed cousin Neji, and just wants to be with peace and unity with her family. Hinata and other victims were not aware of the illusion while under the Genjutsu, so in essence they were in a state of illusory peace. Does this peace justify the suffering caused to achieve it? Does it matter if this world peace that is achieved is fabricated? In utilitarian philosophy, there's a thought experiment called the experience machine by Robert Nozick. The machine is essentially the same as the Infinite Tsukuyomi. A person is able to live out a life of pleasure and peace while simultaneously floating in a tank and hooked to a machine. The individual is fed an illusion of the kind of life that they would want to live, in spite of not truly living it. Nozick uses this thought experiment to ask if there is more to life than experiences, particularly the pleasurable ones. It also asks about the meaning of these experiences, or if there is any meaning to them at all. Nozick raises three main reasons why most people would opt out of floating in a tank living in a dream world as opposed to living in the real world of suffering. First, we want to do certain things and not just have the experience of doing them. Two, we want to be a certain kind of person. And three, plugging into a machine limits us to man-made reality, man-made experiences. The very same objections can be applied to the Infinite Tsukuyomi and why the ninja world rejects Madara and Obito's vision. Going back to Hinata, she had something that she wanted, and the Infinite Tsukuyomi provided it. Yet, if she were to have been asked directly if she would have preferred to be under the illusion as opposed to the harsh reality, it's obvious that her answer would have been the same as everyone else's, that she wants to live in the real world and find real love, and not just some fabricated form of love via a genjutsu. She loves Naruto and wants to be by his side, doing things with him. In order to get to this point, they would both have to mature a bit as people, especially Naruto, in order to sustain a real relationship, so they would have to become a certain kind of person. Her dream was limited to what the Genjutsu showed her, which was devoid of the struggle of real life that makes these dreams meaningful. This can be seen in Neji being alive. The dream isn't based on reality, simply what a person wants their reality to be like, what they want in spite of reality. Hinata would eventually live out her dreams in the real world. She'd marry Naruto and start a family of her own. Yet, unlike her dream, this is bound in the realities of life. Neji is still dead, and her family isn't perfect. Her son Boruto is pompous, bratty, and angry with his dad for spending more time working as Hokage than with his family. Boruto and Himawari are often bickering, and Naruto is under lots of stress from being a major world leader. These struggles are part of life, but they also make it all worth it, because unlike the illusion she was under, it is real and can be conquered. With this in mind, we can get to the heart of why the Moon's Eye Plan and the Infinite Tsukuyomi fail as ideas philosophically. It is a plan that forces people to be happy without truly solving the problems of human existence. It is a solution that denies mankind the autonomy to fix itself. When looking into the philosophy of the Moon's Eye Plan, it is important to look at the personal philosophies of Madara and Obito, which can help us better get into the heart of the ideas and just why they fail as a result. Madara was a cold utilitarian who cared little for the meaning or morality, and also he was maybe somewhat of a sadist. His ideals and values were focused on power and effectiveness over the morality of these actions or the feelings of others. Obito, however, is not a true utilitarian. Deep down in his heart, Obito is a broken deontologist. This is shown when he has a last-minute change of heart that opens him up to the feelings that he carried all along, instead of the utilitarianism that he was hiding behind underneath of his mask. The mask of utilitarianism hiding broken deontology is a perfect metaphor for Obito's work on the Moon's Eye Plan. Like the 5 Kage said, he is simply trying to escape the horrors of reality. Obito suffered horribly, and this suffering is what motivated and informed his fight for the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Yet it is also this suffering that keeps him from being a strictly logical consequentialist. In the end, this very pain would enable him to fight to help save the world at the very last second. This was possible because the pain he felt was real and not just an experience. It enabled him to make real change instead of just hiding behind an illusion. To summarize, Project Tsuki is an operation with utilitarian aims, as the goal is bending man under the Infinite Tsukuyomi and thus ending world suffering in a world of dreams. Yet, it fails to hold up under philosophical scrutiny because it sacrifices many lives and political systems in the name of something that the ninja world largely rejects. They reject this because it is better for man to suffer for what we need than to escape to a false version of what we want. This is where I turn it over to you. What is the meaning and experience? Is the pleasure machine good? What arguments could work in favor of the Moon's Eye Plan? Does it matter if the peace that is created is a false form of peace? As always, thanks for watching. This is AJ with The Art of Overthinking. Hope you have a great day.